Credit cards can be really divisive, but love them or hate them, they give spenders the ultimate payment protection, which is enshrined in UK law. If you struggle with debt already and don't trust yourself to pay off the balance every month, it's best to steer clear of credit cards altogether, even with this protection. But if you can use one responsibly, it's a good reason to get one. So here's what Section 75 is all about. Section 75 refers to a certain part of the Consumer Credit Act. Stay with me here. In short, it means you can claim a refund from your credit card provider if something goes wrong with your purchase. This is the case if it costs over £100 and less than £30,000. That is really important to remember. As per Section 75 or the law, your credit card provider is considered as responsible for any breach of contract or misrepresentation as the retailer. This is really useful if you're struggling to get a refund from the company, maybe they're not responding to or they're outright refusing. If that's the case, go to your credit card provider and make a claim. Scenario-wise, Section 75 will protect you if you order goods and they don't arrive, if they're faulty or aren't as described, which happens a lot. This includes purchases made from overseas companies, which can sometimes be difficult to contact when there's a problem. You'll also be covered if the seller goes bust. It may also cover associated costs or relative losses. For example, if an airline goes bust while you're abroad, Section 75 might cover the cost of a flight back home, or if an event is cancelled and you've already booked a hotel and train tickets, you should be able to claim back the cost for these. But be aware, you'll only be covered by Section 75 if you make a direct credit card payment to a retailer or for a service. So if you pay for something via a middleman like PayPal or even Groupon, you might not get the protection. You'll also be breaking that direct payment chain if you add your credit card to a digital wallet like Curve, so you won't be covered by Section 75 either. It's the same story if you buy something using Buy Now Pay Later too and use your credit card to cover the instalments, so do be wary. You might be wondering what the deal is if you use Apple Pay or Google Pay. In these cases, you'll still get the protection as you'll still be paying the supplier directly. Buying something through a third party, however, such as a travel agent or using Amazon Marketplace, is unlikely to be covered though. However, you may be able to use chargeback if things go wrong here, which I'll go into in a bit more detail later. There's a few other things about Section 75 that you need to know. So firstly, while whatever you're buying needs to cost over £100 and under £30,000, you don't need to put the entire sum on your credit card. You only need to pay for part of it. In fact, you could pay just £1 of the total amount if you wanted to and still get the protection. This can be really useful if you don't have the credit limit to pay for something expensive, or you've got the money in cash and would rather pay for it outright. Now, as we're looking at this pricing bracket, this £100 to £30,000, it's useful to know that this is referring to a single item. So that will be the pair of trainers, the flight, the train tickets. Each needs to meet the minimum limit. So if you bought 2 flights, they would both need to cost £100 each. Likewise, if you bought some jeans and a jumper from the same retailer. Another quirk of Section 75 is that secondary card holders, so those extra people you've added to your credit card account, may not be covered by it. Andy, our editor-in-chief, has run into this with his wife, so he added her to his Amex cashback credit card account to boost their cashback. However, he's found that anything she buys isn't protected by Section 75 unless there's proof he's affected. So if she bought something for him on her Amex card, it would be covered, but if she bought something for herself, it wouldn't. Section 75 also won't work if you're buying something for someone else on your credit card. So this could be the case if you pay for something on behalf of someone, say you paid for some shoes for your daughter on ASOS, but the order was made in her account. Another thing to note is that gift cards will break the chain. So you won't be covered by Section 75 if you buy something with a gift card and then something goes wrong, even if you bought the gift card with a credit card. However, if the company goes bust and as a result you've got a gift card you can no longer use, you should be able to make a Section 75 claim for the card itself if it's worth more than £100. So Section 75 just refers to credit cards, but you might be wondering if debit cards offer a similar thing. Well, they do. It's something called chargeback, which allows you to reverse a card payment and get a refund. That's the case if you didn't receive the goods or the service you paid for, the goods were faulty, counterfeit or poor quality, or you were charged the wrong amount. Like Section 75, it's something you can use when you're not getting anywhere with the retailer. Chargeback isn't just for debit cards though, it also applies to credit cards, but it works slightly differently to Section 75. Firstly, it's not law. It's a set of rules that providers sign up for, so there's no guarantee that you'll get your money back. Secondly, there's no payment limit, so you can make a chargeback claim on purchases of any amount. The exception to this is with MasterCard, where there's a minimum spend of £10. However, with chargeback, there is a time limit, so you must make a claim within 120 days of making the purchase. With chargeback, you'll also only get the money back which you paid on your debit card, so you can't make a part payment and get the whole sum refunded. PayPal is still a bit of a grey area with chargeback as it's a third party and breaks the payment chain. However, if you withdraw all the money from your PayPal account and use it to make a payment with your debit card, you're essentially paying the retailer directly and you'll be able to see the exact amount taken from your account. This might improve your chances of success with chargeback if something goes wrong. Chargeback is a useful thing to try on a credit card before Section 75, as the bank isn't the one paying you back, it's actually the retailer. So your bank is getting the money back from the company's bank rather than forking out for the refund. But be warned, the company can challenge chargeback claims and can even reverse them. But in those cases, with both Section 75 and chargeback claims, if they're rejected, you can complain to your bank or card provider. If it rejects your complaint, or if you're still unhappy with the outcome, you can take your final letter to the free Financial Ombudsman service. The Ombudsman handles disputes between customers and financial firms, and you can ask it to look into it for you. And that's it. Thanks so much for watching. Check out these videos here for more ways to make the most of your money.